The Everything Sequel Podcast is brought to you by the Everything Sequel Podcast. The Everything Sequel Podcast contains explicit language. 'Cause we learned it from you, Dad.
You only dream in the last few seconds before you wake up.
No, it's not true.
No, it is true.
No.
Why won't you accept that?
Hello and welcome to the Everything Sequel Podcast. This is a Nightmare edition. Today, we're pitching sequels. What would you do with the Nightmare series? My name is Michael Schatz of the How Dare You Awards. Joining me, the man I'm hoping puts a llama into his pitch, Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions. Say hi, Tom.
Shh, the birds are sleeping. Thus completes the Bird quotable trilogy.
Classic.
3 different lines about birds in one movie.
The only sequel in the series worth 3 quotables.
That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is that
That's how I'm looking at it.
I can't quite believe there are 3 separate lines that relates to birds.
That is how I choose to look at it, sir.
In a movie that is not Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. I weaponize my quotable to attack you one last time for your bizarre choice.
I just brush it off.
Top spot. We both went a little crazy at the top of our lists.
Yeah.
I think we're
I'm glad you can finally admit that.
Couple of mavericks. Oh yeah, I know it's a left field choice.
Well, you made it sound like everybody in the world
But you're not
would
even
naturally
you're not
see
even
this.
No, I didn't. You made me sound like I sounded like that. I didn't make me sound like that.
You're like, I've heard thousands of people that say this is the best in the series.
I didn't say thousands of people. I said some people. As you know now, it's good enough just to say, as our president does, some people have been saying...
Some people have been saying, right.
That means it's true. Some people have been saying that when I was president, Joe Biden sent the FBI into the Capitol to create chaos on January 6th.
Some people, I don't know.
He briefly retook the presidency for one day and ordered the FBI to stage a political coup.
Excellent.
That is literally reported comments from the President of the United States.
Well, yeah, what are you going to do? I choose to talk about the Nightmare series instead.
Well, that's it. It's
so
that
that
or
the
suicide,
nightmare
right?
I'm living in...
It's like one of the two. We got
The
suicide. Let's
Yeah.
go into a closet and talk about the Nightmare
So the
series
nightmare
once
I'm
again.
living in reality can fade away for ever so briefly.
I mean, it's not comparable, though. I mean, it's only be comparable if you're watching a movie about, nuclear war or something, because the Nightmare movies are too enjoyable to compare them to anything to do with the Trump presidency.
Agreed.
It's too happy a place to. I mean, it's naturally an escape from anything I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that seems to be how I feel about slashers. But I don't think the world entirely agrees with me. I think other people find slashers quite disturbing in ways that I just don't understand.
Yeah, I know one person who.
It's total comfort viewing for me.
Yeah. I
mean, I don't like that about myself, but it's nonetheless true.
I have a friend that'll have night terrors if she watches any kind of horror movie. Literally just screaming like a banshee in the middle of the night.
No, I have the opposite reaction. It calms me down, if anything.
Well, it seems to bother you a little bit. We talked in the last episode, I think, or maybe it was earlier in the series, I forget, where you were talking about, you seemed amazed that I don't carry any of this with me into my dreams. And I said, no, I watch 5 horror movies in a row and then just go to bed.
Yeah, I think it's when movies, because I think you'll agree with this. because I've heard you made similar comments over the years.
Doesn't mean I'm going to agree.
Most movies do dreams really bad. No, it absolutely doesn't.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I'm sure you've forgotten you made any of these comments. That most movies do dreams badly.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that is totally unrepresentative of the experience of having dreams. But there are parts of the movies in these series which key into what the experience of dreaming is like, and when that happens, that chills me to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it's like a feeling of deja vu. Like, I can put myself in the place of a dream I've had, or a feeling I've had in a dream.
Yeah.
And when this series speaks to that, I think that is when, to me, it creates the most anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole idea of Freddy going around, like, you know, impaling children with his hand, I find it oddly comforting. In ways I don't understand.
You're like Homer Simpson, little flag that says Freddy. Pom-poms of green and red.
Cozy little boiler room.
Yeah.
You know, of an evening.
Snuggled up in a blanket in the dirty corner.
Watch it, you know, that's what you need to add to the opening titles of Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, the images of Freddy making his tools in the boiler room. There's just me in an armchair in the corner with a blanket over me. Just happy to be there. Could you throw another child on the fire, please, Freddy? It's starting to get a little chill
in
bit
here.
of a chilly. Sure will, bitch.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Mr. Stewart, sir. That's how he talks to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be how he talks to anyone else, but that's how he talks to me.
He throws another child on the fire and says, "See you in my torso in a minute."
Really, the souls appear that quickly, do they?
Well, yeah, here we are. It's time to pitch for the Nightmare series, but we have we have other business, I think.
We do, yes. Yeah, we have.
I know that I personally have done some homework.
I have to.
I don't know if you've done your homework.
I'd be interested to know if we've done the same homework.
That'd be fascinating.
Separately. Both sold separately.
I told you not to do my homework. I said I would do my homework.
Sorry.
So you shouldn't have done my homework, because I did my homework, and I
yeah,
said
but
I would do
you
my
specifically said, and I know because I listened to the episode today, I will not do this homework. So,
I don't
what do you
think
want
I
me to
said
do?
that. I think that was different homework.
Oh, okay.
That was different
So you might
homework.
not have done that homework. I've done some
The
of your
homework I
homework
said
as
I would do,
insurance.
I did.
Okay, I think I've done your homework as well as you then. Well, let's see. I mean, you go ahead. What homework did you do? This is not how homework works, by the way. The teacher's just like, you decide what your own homework is, and then let me
And
know
then
what you did.
show it to me. Yes, everything appears in order. Well, look.
Yes, that is indeed what you think your homework
Yes.
is.
In terms of my homework, listen. When you're wrong, and you just have to say you're wrong. So I'm very much looking forward to you telling me how wrong you are.
Oh, here we go.
Because you've been wrong about everything. Homework item number 1. Yes, you need a 3D TV or a 3D projector to watch a 3D movie on a 3D TV.
Oh, I was just in denial about that because of the amount of money I've spent on essentially
all these...
a pair of 3D glasses that are functionless.
Useless.
As soon as you said it, I thought I know he's right, but I'm gonna I'm gonna fight against the dying of the light until I know for a fact it's not true.
Right. That's excellent.
Okay, so I've lost a lot of money as a result of this podcast. Got it.
Right. So you just gotta buy another TV. No big deal.
Well, I'm taking it out of our Patreon earnings. How about that? How right do you feel now?
I think it's more expensive than that. I don't think we have enough for you
It's
to
definitely a couple of months
Buy-
at the very least.
buy a whole 3D television.
Oh, I didn't buy a 3D television, but I bought
I know.
a very expensive Blu-ray set that included 3D glasses, and
Yeah.
I thought that was all I needed because that's
Hilarious.
That's all I needed when they did those 3D specials on TV when I was a kid. Why would you need to buy a new TV? Who would do that?
People who want money.
Ugh.
All right. Here's my other homework item number 2.
I know what this is. And you're going to claim that I'm wrong, and I'm going to claim that I'm partially right.
Oh, I see. Partially right.
Yeah. Partial credit.
All right. Well, which one were you going to do first? I was going to do that you only dream in the last few minutes before you wake up.
Now, what I said was true.
No, it's not.
From a certain point of view.
No, you can't bring other series into your argument. Objection,
Well,
Your
also-
Honor.
also-
Sustained, Mr. Shantz.
Also, quoting Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't enhance my argument. He's the most terrible liar in all of cinema.
That's true.
He's the worst human being of any film ever. Go on, then.
I have research that says that you dream throughout the night in all stages of sleep, but of course, REM sleep
Yes.
is where you dream the most, and of course, you remember the ones towards your waking up because they're the most fresh in your mind.
And that's why I'm partially right.
I think that's why you are completely wrong.
Well, no, because the point I made, as far as you know, as the dreamer, right? As the dreamer, the only dreams you have are the only dreams you know you could possibly remember and know are the ones that happen right before you wake up.
Separate
And that
issue between
No, that
when
was
you
that
when you actually dream. You said definitively, no, you only dream in the last few minutes before you wake up, and I said,
yeah, I
no,
know,
you don't.
and
You dream
that's
throughout the
why
night.
that's why I'm partially right, and
And
not
you
wholly
said,
right.
no, that's not how it works. You only dream then.
I'm sorry, I don't want a Bill Clinton definition of intercourse this, but
Depends on what
Part of
the
what I
definition
said
of
was true.
is.
that's what I was groping for.
Now the other one, the last one, I think I'm on shakier ground because I think this is a better
You're on pretty
argument.
shaky ground already because
No,
I've only
no,
admitted to
fuck no.
partial wrongness.
No. I think the argument you just made for that is a better argument for the one I'm going to talk about,
Okay.
because you talked about how time condenses in dreams.
Oh, dream time.
And that dreams only last a few seconds is what you said, and that's not true. Dreams last from 5 to 30 minutes. But in the dream world, it feels like time compresses because, of course, you can jump locales and you.
Well, of course. I mean, it's all anything that is interior thought is all conceptual anyway.
But you were saying that
But
literally
I
you
said
only dream in the last few seconds before you
experientially.
wake up. You didn't say
Yes,
experientially.
I'm not defending that. Okay, I was wrong about that. But
we could just say you were wrong about all of it.
No, we can't because that would be inaccurate. Partially. What I said was in the ballpark of right.
Meaning wrong.
No, I mean, I misspoke, and I did mean to say, from the point of view of the person dreaming, the only dreams that exist to you are the ones that happen right before you wake up.
To you. How dare you?
You know, if a tree falls in the wood, right? Who else? No one else can experience your dreams but you. So essentially, it is, it's, the shadows in the cave.
You're over there with, what does a one-hand clap sound like? And I'm Bart
Well,
Simpson
we all
going
know.
like this.
But well, no, I mean it's it's kind of relative to the experience of dreaming. None of this exists. This is all happening conceptually, imaginatively.
Happens for 5 to 30 minutes throughout the entire night.
Well, what's our evidence for that?
Well, I'm looking at tomswrong.com.
Of course you are. It's your favorite website. But then you'd have to stand there with a pin watching someone, and then prick them, wake them up, and go, "Okay, what were you dreaming about?" Just when I pricked you.
Yeah, they maybe they do that.
Is that what science
That's
is?
How we
if
know.
So,
that's how we
if
know.
so, I shouldn't have as much faith in it as I do. If that's the case, I'm working mainly on pricking people with pins in the night. That's my research field.
How uniquely qualified we'd both be for that job.
You're gonna love the rest of my homework.
Okay, go ahead.
Because there's the same level of partially right that you misconstrue as wrong.
Construed correctly, I might add. Or I might say.
And to be fair, like hopefully you won't come too hard at me on this, because it feels like I should have been right about this.
About this new thing you're about to say?
Yeah.
I'll probably shit on your face.
But so we talked about the various novelty songs that have appeared in Nightmare movies.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, at some point we're gonna get Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff with A Nightmare on My Street. The second rap iteration of a Nightmare novelty song. Turns out that's got nothing to do with any of the movies, because immediately I was like, okay, so what film is that associated with? Which film was it written for, and which film does it appear on? Because I haven't seen it, I haven't heard it at all in any of these films, and it's the most famous. It's one of them, apart from Dokken, obviously, but like, it's one of the most popular musical kind of tie-ins for Nightmare. It's not officially licensed at all. They just put the song on the album in an attempt to get onto the soundtrack of The Dream Master. And Robert Shea tried to sue them.
Excellent.
So they released this song, and you listen to the song and you go, I mean, this is, if you don't have the license to write these lyrics and include this music, you're breaking the law. I don't know where the lawsuit went, but they were trying to get on the Dream Master soundtrack, and when they were rejected, rather than just kind of bury the song, they put it on one of their albums. And it's become, I think maybe Robert Shea's been like, okay, well, it popularizes the idea of the Nightmare movies, so it's kind of win-win. I'm not losing any money.
But they never put it on the
net gain. No, it's not on any soundtrack.
Is it in the movie? But it's not in the movie either.
It's not in any movie.
Because when you said that, I always just have to say, yeah, you're right. But I literally Mandela affected myself into thinking, yeah, I think I remember listening
There's a different
to
rap
one
song
of those
on
rap
4.
songs, and I thought to myself, that sounds like Jazzy Jeff.
Well, it's the Fat Boys is the one that made it onto the movie. But this would have been this was the same time. So basically they had a choice of two different rap songs, and they went with Fat Boys. But
Okay.
I don't think as many people remember the Fat Boys Freddy rap as they do A Nightmare on My Street. I mean, certainly if my experience in Halloween stores is anything to go by, that's the most playlisted Halloween songs. It's kind of guaranteed to be on there with Thriller and Monster Mash. So,
all right.
In the end, once again, Will Smith won. Despite horrible odds. He went up and slapped the shit out of someone at the Oscars and still gets to work. Still won an Oscar on the night.
Yeah. after that.
And still gets to work. He's not been cancelled or anything.
I'd love it if that night, I don't remember who was, there giving out the award for Best Actor. But it would have been great if he or she just opened up that card and said, "Oh, guys, I maybe we should rethink this." All right, Will Smith.
Well, yeah. It's yeah. There was a strange. Although, like his punishment was like you're banned from the Academy or you don't get to be
10
nominated
years.
in the.
I think it is. Yeah.
It's not really a punishment, is it? I mean, it's like. Does that, when you get to that level of film stardom, does it really matter if you?
Yeah, right.
If you don't appear at the Oscars or you don't get nominated for an Oscar?
No, he already won one. That's what he probably wanted all along.
Cary Grant never won one, and we still talk about him.
Yeah.
Well, some of us do. I certainly do. I talk about nothing but him. Okay, so, well,
all right. Well, I'm fine with that one, but the other three, I'll count as my being right. Your being wrong.
You didn't question it, so it wouldn't count anyway. But
on music things, I just assume you're right, and I'd have to.
Well, I was wrong this time.
Yeah,
but I think it's outlandish. It's kind of implausible that it wouldn't be part of any official soundtrack, isn't it?
Sure.
But anyway, despite what we've talked about, despite the tone of the conversation in the last 10 or 15 minutes, I do like to admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's coming through loud and clear. Don't you worry.
Well, I have another correction.
Okay.
Do you remember when I forgot to do a credit check for Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge?
No.
Okay, well, I didn't do a credit check for it.
At all?
It slipped my mind. I had one credit note, and then I went back and said, I must have missed something. Or, why did I not? So, in the interest of fairness, given that it's your favorite movie of all time...
Whoa.
Right before we went on mic, you were like,
my favorite movie of all time.
Jaws has got nothing on Freddy's Revenge.
How dare you mischaracterize?
So I have a credit. I have a post-credit check.
All right, go ahead.
So one of the characters is credited as Do-Gooder. Do you remember anyone in Nightmare 2 who could possibly fit that bill?
Maybe the teenage boy that was trying to say, hey, we can help you. It's okay. What can we do for you? Then he gets stabbed.
Oh, it could be him.
Yeah.
That's the closest to a do-gooder. It's also, first of all, I'm not sure who this is. Also, isn't this an extremely archaic way?
It's not Robert Shea.
Definitely not. It's act gooder. Isn't this an extremely archaic phrasing? Do-gooder?
Yeah.
I don't hear that a lot anymore. I don't know. Maybe
there's so many fewer people doing good.
Well, true. There's no need for it.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's like the person who was writing the credits was listening to the Bing Crosby song that was over the credits while they were doing it, and so put in words like "do-gooder" and 23 skidoo. Assistant Accountant Glenn Gaylord. Now, there are clues to the theme of the movie if you care to look. That's all I'm saying.
Like the director met Glenn Gaylord. He's like, what's your name? Glenn. What's your last name? Gaylord. Interesting.
I don't know if there's a whole movie in it, but you slat Freddy on and you got something. Animal actors.
The two dogs superimposed? Or with the
superimposed
baby faces?
You know what's funny? When I was scrubbing through Nightmare 2 on HBO Max to get to the credits, it like the one place it stopped was the dogs with the human faces. Of all the points in the movie. I love it because you try and sell that to me as an unrepresentative moment of the movie, and yet it's the first thing that I find when I scrub through. Animal Actors doesn't sound like an organization that provides animals. It's just a description of what the animals do.
Right.
That's like saying Animal Actors. It's like, yeah, I know. I know they're actors. Have you? You've seen Good Boy. I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, I had a weird moment where I suddenly thought, because there's this whole thing of the trying to get animals to win Oscars.
Yeah.
Now, animals to win Oscars, and I'm like, isn't that a slippery slope of like?
Well, if you watch Good Boy till the end,
Yeah.
and see how they get the performance, which is completely unrelated to what's going on screen.
Yeah.
We just filled the dog with all of our own insights as to what the dog is thinking.
Well, sure. I mean, but that's one part of it. The other part of it is dog hasn't consented to be an actor in a movie.
Mm-hmm. The director says that several times, by the way. He says, by the way, Indy has no idea that he's in a movie.
But that's not... I wouldn't call that a virtue.
No.
I wouldn't advertise that fact because that's a kind of a slavery. And is this opening the door to, like, acting bondage?
Well...
Like you say, this person didn't want to do this. I forced them to do it.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job, so... Can you nominate them for an Oscar? Like, no, because that's reaffirming your slavery of that person.
Right.
So having the whole Good Boy situation has made me kind of rethink animals in movies. I never thought about the issue of consent before in the way I have.
Yeah.
Because it's a thorny issue, right?
Certainly.
I mean, at least with AI, like, no one is being forced to do anything they don't want to do.
Well, but that's the part where, I don't know that the dog doesn't want to do it.
The audience is being forced to watch something they don't want to watch, but that's a very different matter. No, but like we talk about choices in acting.
Yeah, sure.
You've got to fundamentally make the choice to be an actor in a movie. Or you're not making any choices beyond that.
Right.
So there we go. That's my
all right
unfinished business credit check of Nightmare on Elm Street 2: Freddy's Revenge. And that concludes other business.
We're at 28 minutes and 20 seconds. I don't know exactly when you started that, but take a few minutes, everybody, and just listen to Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. Stop. Go to this episode. Go, 24 minutes in? And then listen to the last 4 minutes.
Okay.
Or thereabouts.
Yep, that's definitely one way you could do it. Or, just live to be surprised.
Lovely.
I mean, the fact that either of us remembered to do any homework is staggering. The fact that we did all of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
It's pretty remarkable.
I'd say it's a miracle, but I was very much looking forward to proving you wrong.
Oh, that was your incentive?
Yeah. Of course.
My incentive was to kind of do damage limitation on what I was wrong about.
Yeah, that was obvious by the way you engaged with this conversation.
You dream throughout the night, but you only dream in the last few seconds of the night.
You can't say
both things are true.
Things. No,
both
not with that word
are
only.
Independently true.
Not with that word only.
Well, yeah, but anyway, I'm not gonna. The rest
Prove
of it
yourself
is
even further wrong.
No, I'm content being partially wrong.
Fully.
No, not fully.
filled to the brim wrong.
The fact that there's a kernel of truth in what I said means I'm not completely wrong.
No, I think it does. What a look. All right, now was it difficult for you to write another Nightmare on Elm Street sequel?
Yeah, because I didn't have any time. I was watching the credits of Freddy's Revenge again.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Was it difficult? Not when I figured out what the idea was.
Mm-hmm.
From that point onwards, it was plain sailing. Because it's one of those ideas that I'm not saying it's foolproof by any means. Well, what I'm saying is, like, once you start down that road,
Yeah.
forever will it determine your destiny. I didn't mean to turn that into a Star Wars quote, but it seems like the only way to go. But yeah, once you go in that direction, then it kind of writes itself.
Yeah, I had a similar experience.
But getting to that stage, and it's really daunting and intimidating, because one of the things this series does so well is new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something we don't talk about new
Yeah,
ideas.
right.
So you've got to live up to the quality of new ideas that's in this series, which is a really high standard.
Yeah, the highest order of new ideas when we first started this was, well, like, now it's personal. The shark's going to go all the way to the Bahamas to get them.
Yeah. It's like they've already drained the pool, so what's left
Right.
for us? But this is kind of,
And for some reason, they'll go in the water.
Conceptually, these movies kind of remain at a high level.
Yeah.
And maybe one or two kind of rest on their laurels a little bit, but the majority of them, certainly the last few movies that you'd be following,
Mm-hmm.
are some of the most kind of conceptually interesting. So you can't phone it in.
Sure.
You can't phone the idea in at all. So, but getting to that idea was the hard part.
Right.
And also, I think also the difficulty of picking your lane in terms of what kind of a sequel are you going to make, knowing that the series proper is done.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to revive that, or are you going to continue with these side projects, spin-off,
Yeah.
kind of multiverse versions of Nightmare movies?
I surprised myself with my decision on that take.
Yeah. Well, this series kind of makes you think outside the box about
Mhm.
that, I think.
Sure.
It wants you to kind of take a risk and roll the dice and come up with something genuinely challenging
Sure.
each time, which is not usually a situation we're in at this point in the series when we write our pitches.
Yeah.
So I think what I ended up doing was I kind of split the difference between reviving the series and doing another spin-off,
Okay.
because I like the idea of both, and I realized that there was an idea that could bring the two halves of that together into one
Right.
whole. I was gonna say coherent whole, but that's that's not my judgment to make until I've said my pitch and received feedback on it.
Very good.
So what about, so you had some difficulty, but at some point it started to gel? Is that
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
mean,
getting?
the idea, coming up with the idea was hard. Once I had the idea, it even started to flow. I felt like Randy Quaid in The Paper, where he's like, "There's literally butter coming out of my fucking pen."
I'm glad you clarified which Randy Quaid character you were talking about.
I know
And that also that you weren't talking about Randy Quaid the person, because I'm
Yeah.
like, nothing about him flows.
Yeah.
Nor does anything flow of use from Cousin Eddie, for example.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, one of my favorite performances in any movie is Randy Quaid in The Last Detail. Have you ever seen that
Detail,
movie?
yeah.
Just a phenomenal movie. Like, I'm so
Nominated for that role, I think.
when people go back to that era, they never seem to talk about that movie, and that seems like a huge shame because it's the best movie Hal Ashby's ever done.
You think?
Better than Being There, better than Harold and Maude. Oh yeah, way better.
I like
one of
Being
Jack Nicholson. I think Being There's fantastic, but this is even better, and it's Jack Nicholson's best performance as well. I think.
You think so?
I am the fucking Shore Patrol. Yeah.
You
Anyway.
sounded a little more like Jack Lemmon there.
Yeah, you know, I am the little Gagador.
Or no, maybe it was Walter Matthau.
I have a nasal problem.
It might have been a little more Walter
Matthau.
Matthau. I am the Shore Patrol.
It's hard to go back as I have been doing with the Tree Houses of Horrors to the very beginnings of The Simpsons when Dan Castellaneta still has the Walter Matthau voice.
Mm-hmm.
But where it really, I think the one moment where it really worked, I think he'd moved beyond it by this point, but you can hear it come back in a big way.
Yeah.
Is when he's leering at Maud, leaning over the bowl of peanuts at the dinner party to look at her cleavage, and he's like, "Not those, the ones at the bottom." that's such a Walter Matthau line read.
That's great. Matt Groening, he was on Mark Maron's About to End podcast. In fact, I think it ended today.
It ended today with Barack Obama.
There you go.
How would you feel about that if you were Matt Groening, do you think? You'd be like, I guess anyone but Obama, you'd be insulted. Right? That it wasn't the very last episode.
Right.
Because between the two of them, they've defined the culture of the last 30, 40 years of America.
Sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. What's he going to do now?
I don't know. Act more.
Lots of rambling comedy specials where he gets in a chair, and lots of underprepared comedy specials where he sits in a chair and rambles about whatever's on his mind.
Well, you certainly staked your claim on what you think.
No, I mean, that essentially is podcasting, so I don't understand why now he's found his medium. Why is he gone back to a less meandering form, such as stand-up?
You said it yourself. It's enough. You don't need to see Cameron Diaz anymore. Maybe you don't need to hear Mark Maron
I didn't
anymore.
say that about Cameron Diaz. I said I want to see more of her. I want to see less of Jamie Lee Curtis in lieu of
no, but
Diaz.
you also said it's fine that she's not doing anything. She's done enough.
For
It's
her,
enough.
I meant for her point of view, because she left us leaving more. And she
Wanting
probably
more?
has a better quality of life now she's not involved in the ugly machine of Hollywood.
Sure.
Whereas Jamie Lee Curtis seems to thrive off the ugly machine of Hollywood in a way I'm not quite comfortable with.
Yeah, most actors are like that. Why do you think they're
Yeah,
actors?
I think that's why she survived so long. She still has a manic energy about her.
Yeah.
Is she diagnosed manic?
No, not that I know of. I don't know.
Because she certainly seems that way.
She
In
was
and out
on
of
Maron's show,
movies.
too, just a week or two ago.
Didn't you want to spend time with her family or something? Or her husband? I suppose he's off doing pointless sequels to comedy movies.
Yeah, they're empty nesters now, so she's got nothing but time.
Oh, that's the reason we got a Spinal Tap 2, because they're fucking empty nesters? That's not a reason to make a sequel. Did you see it? I refused
did.
to see it. Okay, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
It's not
Not just because...
quite as bad. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. It made me laugh.
Okay.
There wasn't a reason to do it, but
No. Mm-mm.
but they did it.
Yeah, they did it.
All right. Well, let's go. I don't need this to be a 2.5 hour episode.
I don't need to say anything else that I'll turn out to be wrong about.
Yeah. That's you talking, not me. You're not. I assume you're not speaking as me.
Signed, Mike Shantz. Yeah, normally when I say things, it is as from the perspective of me as me, yes. Unless I say otherwise.
All right, you want to go first, or should I go first?
I think you should go first.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure I've been first, like at least the last time, maybe even the time before that.
Yeah, maybe the last 2 times.
I think at least the last 2 times, and I wasn't happy about it then. So, I I insist you go first.
All right then. All right. How hard was it for you to come up with a title, by the way?
Same exact. Everything kind of happened at the same time. In that, the idea begot the title begot the movie. It kind of all dovetailed in a really nice way.
Okay.
It took a while, and it wasn't obvious. I'm still not 100% happy with it, but it conceptually fits what I'm doing in my movie. So, like, I could probably finesse it to a better title, but I'm just it's good enough for what I'm doing.
Well, I guess I kind of feel the same way because I'm not in love with this title, but it just dovetails so nicely into what this whole fucking movie is, and I just felt like it had to have this title. But also, when you're up against, it feels like they've used all the good ones, doesn't it? Dream Warriors and Dream Master.
wasted a couple of the bad ones that we could have used.
Yeah, exactly. So I went along those tracks, and I'm calling my movie A Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Tracker.
This is gonna take some convincing, I think.
Well, I agree. Like
my initial reaction is at best mixed.
Yeah, it's like I'm not in love with this, but when you hear what it's about,
tracker. I think the word tracker is a problem.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's
everything up to Dream is fine. It's just the tracker bit.
So I'd
even prefer Dream Charmer.
No, yeah, it's no good.
Weaver?
No, and don't think I didn't think of Dream Weaver or Catcher, because I did.
I love that you're saying no, not necessarily because they're wrong, but because you've already rejected them in your mind.
Yeah, the closest one was Dream Catcher, but
that's way better than Dream Tracker.
I mean, maybe I could still use it, but it doesn't really make sense with what I've built. So why don't you shut up for a second?
Okay. I'm going to suggest that maybe Dream Tracker doesn't make as much sense as you might think it does. Even
it does.
Anyway, go on.
But what I've done here, I almost have a full treatment, but I've got a cold open completely written.
Okay.
So here we go. We open with a teenager walking down Elm Street. Her name is Maya Burrows. I don't know if you remember, but Lisa Zane. By the way, in doing research for this, Lisa Zane from Freddy's Dead, it's Billy Zane's sister. Did you know that?
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Which one is Freddy's Dead? So
his daughter. His daughter,
Maya Burrows. Okay, yeah. Got it.
So Maggie Burrows, that's the mom. This is Maya Burrows.
Yep.
And she looks over and sees a familiar red door at 1428. Lightning flashes, and it hits the tree, a tree across the street behind her, and a large branch falls to the ground. And in the smoke, we see the familiar shape of Freddy Krueger. The young woman is now unnerved and hears a whisper behind her. A little girl is in the window of the house and says, "You can hide in here." So the woman rushes over and opens the door, but as she steps inside and kind of looks to her right, where she thinks the little girl will be, it's not a house at all. There's just sort of a winding staircase, iron staircase, that seems to go on and on and on.
Yeah.
And she steps back out and kind of looks in the window again and sees the home. And then steps back in and sees the windy staircase, and behind her we hear kind of the familiar things we're used to, which is the razor claws on the drain pipe from the roof. And
razor claws, finger knives. No, razor claws is he's not an animal.
Well, with those razor claws, he is.
He's a night vampire with razor claws.
So we see the claws, and so does she. And she runs into the house, and she hears down below the spiral staircase, down here, a voice saying down here. So she follows the voice, and she she kind of gets to the bottom, and she turns a corner and sees a little couple of pigtails kind of going around the corner. A couple young girl pigtails that she.
It's delightful when you read it out loud like that.
You like that?
Yes, it just makes my heart happy when you put it like that.
So again, she kind of hears over here, and the woman calls out, "Wait!" And the little girl kind of approaches the door and opens it and goes inside. Bright light. She follows her in. Now we've changed location, and the kind of way we do in our own dreams, where suddenly you're somewhere else. And she finds herself somewhere else entirely. She's in a long, kind of almost endless seeming hallway on both sides. No doors, but windows. And in the windows, as she looks in on both sides, she just sees rows and rows of people lying on gurneys. And like there just seems to be something wrong with them, but you can't really quite get a look at them fully because of the angle of how they're all stacked near each other, and what's blocking her in between the windows, that kind of thing. And then from a long way down the hallway, we hear a laugh, and we know this laugh, and suddenly all the bodies sit up. And now she knows what's wrong, and it's like where their eyes should be, it's just sort of all skin.
Wow.
And they turn their heads and all kind of look at our heroine, and so she can see, everything that's all wrong and fucked up with them. And she hears the laugh again, and she turns around, and descending from an air duct on a very long left arm is Freddy Krueger.
Wow.
And then he takes the kind of similar stance from number one, where that long arm starts, it's like whatever it is, 8 feet long, and it's touching the side of the wall. And then all of a sudden his claw arm starts growing, and he's walking down the hall with the long arms towards her.
Yeah.
So she freaks out. She starts to sweat, and she turns around and tries to run away, but she can't seem to move at all. Also in the way that happens to us in our dreams, where she's trying to escape, but she can't.
And in these movies.
Yes.
Oatmeal stairs.
Straight out of one, too. I wanted to say...
Oatmeal stairs.
Oatmeal stairs, yeah. And so the next thing we know, Freddy starts making a beeline. Now he's got his normal arms, and he's running at her. And she looks away and keeps trying to run, and she can't escape, and he's getting closer, and he's getting closer, and he's getting closer. And we see him raise the claw arm with the fingers spread wide, and he's about to plunge it into her back when she suddenly hears a whisper of, "Wake up!" And she wakes up. So Maya kind of wakes up in a cold sweat, and she looks around and sees absolutely nothing in her room. And, she's not a very religious person. She says, "Jesus, please help me." And then that leads to our opening credits. All right, we're in Springwood, and Maya walks into her mother's room. Now, I looked up all of this. I'm kind of on shaky ground, but it's all plausible. Lisa Zane is 64 years old as of today.
Wow.
I'm saying Maya's 18, which means she would have had her when she was 46. That's a late birth, but it's certainly possible.
Oh, wow. I thought the problem would be making her old enough.
That's what I thought too. But
Oh no, we're really old, aren't we?
yeah, I felt like this all like when I looked it up, I thought this works. I can work with this. So
Yeah.
she walks into her mother's room, and Maggie Burroughs kind of looks lost as Maya walks in, and Maya says, "Hi, Mom," and her mother asks who she is, and Maya says she's here to help her, and she kind of sits down with her and gives her some pills to take. And the next thing you know, her mom starts yelling, and she says that she knows he's close, that he's coming for them, that, Maya kind of just takes this as a sign of her mother's illness, but stays with her until she can relax her and get her back into bed. Next thing you know, the phone rings, and it's her father, and her father's asking how her mother is, and she's, saying kind of platitudes. She's fine. Don't worry about it. And he says, you could just put her in a home and you can come live with me. And she's like, well, we're fine, Dad. She's doing well. And then that way, he's out of the picture.
Yeah.
But he's not a piece of shit father, except that he has no problem saying, just put your ex-wife in a home and fucking be done with her.
Well, also that he's not taking it upon himself to look after her in the first place, even if they've broken up.
Yeah.
He's just like, well, now we're divorced. That's I'm no longer responsible for any mental health problems you have.
So the way I have it is that she's 18, but in her last year of high school. And so she goes to school, and this is the part where we meet all her friends. We get to know everyone else. One of them will say, man, you look terrible. And she's like, yeah, I didn't sleep well. And she says, oh, yeah, you and me both.
Uh-oh.
And then you have those conversations of, really? And, yeah, it's
Uh-oh.
been going on for months. Oh, me too. And then one of her friends says, yeah, I'm actually thinking of trying this app. Here, look.
Look at you with the social media references.
So, you kind of have a commercial of, whatever, some CEO that's saying, dream shit. Like most people don't know how important a dream is. That for every hour in your life that you don't get 8 hours of sleep, you're actually subtracting life from your life. That's how important sleep it is. You're literally shortening your life.
Did you know that you only dream in the seconds before you wake up? That kind of thing.
That's how you know.
Verifiable.
That's how you know he's a charlatan.
Dream facts.
A charlatan, because he's just
if he turns out to be a charlatan,
bunch of nonsense just spilling out of his mouth.
If he turns out to be a charlatan, then you absolutely have to put that line of dialogue in so that
as an indicator.
Because then people will suspect the dog.
So he says that's why we here at REM Labs are proud to...
REM Labs!
Like that?
Okay, I think you're throwing this in like it's not, like you didn't work on it for hours on end. That's great.
Well, they're at REM Labs. They're presenting Dream Tracker, the new app. That's why it's called Dream Tracker.
That's where the tracker came. I thought you meant like a Native American tracker.
No, but
like
that'll kind of come into play. That's why it's also there. So...
Well, you can still use Dreamcatcher then.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like that. Like Dreamcatcher could work, but it's also anyway, we'll decide.
Isn't there also horror films called Dreamcatcher?
Yeah, that's a Stephen King. So that's another reason I didn't do it.
What isn't a Stephen King though? we can't meet that standard of not using something that Stephen King has used at some point in his career anymore.
Well, what we come to find out is this app will not only allow you to put in your dreams and kind of give you an idea of what your subconscious is thinking about when you're asleep, but it'll also give you a wealth of information based on your sleeping habits about how to get a better night's sleep. You can download it from your app right now, and
I think I misunderstood the brief. Are we pitching apps or movies? Because arguably your movie pitch is very strong. I think your app pitch is even stronger.
Well, part of the reason this whole idea came to me, I don't remember what's my app called. My app's called Shut Eye. So not too long ago, I got this app Shut Eye because it could, like, you set it next to your bed and it records you all night. So it tells you, it records if you snore, if you talk in your sleep, if there's any kind of outside noise, and then it tells you all the stuff of, like, how much sleep you're getting, REM sleep, deep sleep, all of that stuff. But I stopped using it because it was very annoying, because it would tell me that I was only sleeping 3 hours a night, because it would say you were awake from 1:30 a.m. to 3:30 a.m. And I was not. I was not. And I know we all wake up a little bit throughout the night.
Are you going to believe the app? Or...
So anyway, that's what got me thinking about this whole thing. And so
so who are you going to believe, the app or the half of you that's not a serial killer who goes out at night and murders people?
Yeah, that sounds more like American Werewolf. You wake up naked in a zoo. Oh, I think something's gone awry tonight. But basically, it's like, download this app from your store now and get the knowledge, that our insights that our app can give you, and you'll finally start resting easy. So, as we go on, we find that millions of people have been downloading this app, and that it's very popular, and that Kruger is kind of using the app as a farming system to slowly make himself more powerful. Like, that's how many people he needs, because of they ended him. And he wants, like, right now he's only powerful enough to kill people in dreams. He wants the power to generate where if he kills you in the dream, you die in real life. So the kids not only sign up for the app, but when offered a chance to go to the exclusive sleep clinic right around town, free of charge, because there'll be test cases, they sign up, and they realize that the app that you also wear in conjunction with, like, a wristband kind of a thing, like those cloth wrist, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
So you use that, and then when you're there at the sleep clinic, they'll also hook up electrodes to your head, and they'll give you what they call our brain mapping, and it gives you insight about how to control your dreams and use your dreams, and if you need to, wake up out of your dreams if they're just too intense for you. So it's like kind of an idea of Dream Warriors. It's like you're training yourself within your dreams.
Yeah.
It'll turn out...
Dream skills.
I really like this. It'll turn out that the CEO of the company is actually assisting Freddy in all of this, having made a devil bargain, because he's not just a CEO, he's also a serial killer. And he sacrificed his own daughter to pledge allegiance to Freddy, and watches people at his sleep clinic kind of enjoying seeing them die in their dreams, and waiting for the moment where they'll die in real life so he can kind of experience that without the pesky thing about possibly getting arrested for it.
Sure.
And then
you can't arrest me. I turned it into an app.
Yeah. So finally, Freddy will have just got enough power. He can't do it at will, but he garners enough power to kill one person, and that's one of Maya's friends. She kind of dies in her sleep. It's kind of like 4. So he might stab you in the heart in your dream, but there's no blood. It kind of looks like she just had a heart attack. And at home, Maya is starting to realize that the gibberish Mom is talking about might have more relevance to her life as it is right now, and she realizes she's starting to connect the dots to her mother's past, and in that, her own past, or her familial past at least.
Yeah.
And, might be a good time for some research, I guess. So we talked about that in this series, where one of the boys in five, he does the research, where he just goes to the... So, yeah, we get some research, and...
The library.
So what she starts discovering is connecting more dots, not just between the sleep clinic and the CEO, but realizing that the billionaire he is kind of came out of nowhere, and he doesn't even really seem to have a past. So finally, her and her friends, her remaining friends, are with the knowledge they've gathered, they kind of keep going to the clinic, but only to build their own powers.
Yeah.
And they decide to kind of confront their foe Freddy by tracking Freddy in his dreams, learning more about his power, and then using that against him.
Do we go into Freddy's dreams?
Yeah, so they go into... Well, I didn't know if that works, because, like, how does a person in a dream...
We haven't done it yet.
But the idea was kind of...
That'd be amazing. If you could
go
kill
into
Freddy in his dreams.
Yeah, go into Freddy's subconscious and then set a trap where they put him in a time loop in which he thinks he's getting stronger by killing a bunch of people, but he's not. He's actually just caught in a loop.
Yeah.
And you just teach the people that are in those dreams to replace faces and stuff as camouflage so that Freddy thinks he's killing different people when really he's just only killing in the dreams and not in real life. And then he's not powerful enough to keep
they're just bat-boying him in there.
Yeah, exactly.
He thinks he saved the city, but in fact he's
in the end they are able to trap Freddy in this loop, and Maya and her two remaining friends kind of escape that dream world to wake up at the clinic to now be chased by the very real serial killer that is the CEO. And he's got they got to try to escape, and once he's realized what they've done, they've trapped Freddy in this loop, so he doesn't really care about the other two. He can kill them, but he has to capture Maya to put her back in the dream world, because she's sort of the last familial roadblock for Freddy coming back into his own power. That's A Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Tracker.
Wow. Title still sucks, but even in context, it ain't that great.
Quite so mean about it when you first... Are you sure
the
this
idea
has to do with your being
idea
so
is,
wrong about
No, the idea
things?
the idea is fantastic.
I liked it because having that CEO as sort of in cahoots with Freddy kind of is reminiscent of like Dracula's assistant. And
well, Freddy's never had that. Freddy's never had an Igor. Or like that little, the little guy I noticed for the first time in Jaws who follows Quint around when he's on land. It's a fucking goblin who kind of carries a suitcase. Yeah. But not on the boat. He doesn't take him on the boat with him, which is fucking weird. But yeah, that's it. And like I think Jason, or what do we call him, Pissed Goalie, is... the first of Freddy's allies in the real world.
Yeah, right.
Ever. Except when he possesses someone and makes them do what he wants. But that's not the same as someone...
Well, I liked the idea of Freddy not being powerful enough to do this on his own.
Yeah.
Having to enlisting someone inherently evil, teaching him how to put on a new face... and to get what he needs, starting this nonsense so that he could like kind of raise these farms where he can...
Yeah.
It's like practice ground for Freddy so that he can build up some more potency.
I'd like him, instead of getting trapped in the dream world, trapped in either a beta version of the app or literally in one phone that runs out of battery. And you just put it in a drawer. And Freddy's just a dead phone in a drawer.
Yeah, that's good.
No, it's a fantastic idea, and I love the possibilities that Freddy manifesting through a sleep app brings. I'd like to have a scene where he gets into the internet as well. I think
like Shocker.
That would be
sounds Shocker related.
Well, just just like the idea that he's kind of left the dream world and then gone into the world of global mass communication. Yeah. So he's literally everywhere. I mean, that's one of the scariest ideas there is in horror. It's scary enough when it's done on a national level in Ghostwatch. The idea that in doing a TV show about a poltergeist, you've let a poltergeist into every home in the nation that's watching it.
Love it.
terrifying idea. So yeah, that's really great, and I love that you're picking up the threads of
Yeah,
your least favorite film in the series.
I did not think I would do that.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I that's they created a lineage that wasn't there before, so in a way, it's a shame that it just sits there in that one movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think there's a potential to, given that the series does seem to enjoy, you know, returning legacy characters, and
Yeah, right.
it's not done the intergenerational thing though, has it? It's always kind of
No, yeah.
we've never had like, we've always stayed with the same generation of kids, kind of,
Sort of.
sort of, except for Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
But they weren't the sons and daughters of anyone.
Well, they make it sound like they are, though.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're stretching the time of that, like of the time that of whether or not that's plausible. But I think that's what they were going for.
Oh, okay. I never got that. I just thought they were just a brand new set, because a brand new set of Elm Street kids.
Yeah, but it's like all the parents seem to know about Freddy, so they have agreed not to talk. So it seems like I don't know. It seems that at the very least, some of those parents had to be complicit in the killing of Freddy. That ever-expanding group.
I know, yeah. It's like, it started out as the Last Supper, and now it's like the cast of thousands. Okay.
Well, what do you got for us, sir?
Well, nothing as detailed as that. I don't have a screenplay to offer, I'm afraid. I merely have the bones of an idea.
Go ahead.
Well, like I said, I wanted to split the difference between the way the series was heading and what had kind of been left behind.
Okay.
So, you know, the kind of a movie that feels like a continuation, if not of the serial storyline of the first 6 movies, but feels like it definitely takes place in that world.
Mm-hmm.
With that iconography and with a lot of the same situations.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wanted to respect where the series is at, which is that, you know, we're kind of making these sort of novelty side projects at this point.
Right.
We started to talk about this when we talked about New Nightmare, that it while not directly introducing the idea of a kind of a sort of nightmare multiverse, it kind of it started that conversation, I think, of the idea that you could have different nightmare realities going on simultaneously, with one intruding into the other. So that was kind of my starting point, as, you know, the sort of what's the kind of novelty, what's the sort of novelty concept, what's my Freddy versus Jason, or what's my New Nightmare, and it's kind of, you know, the idea that there are parallel realities where, you know, the story of what happens in Nightmare on Elm Street takes a different course, but kind of this is kind of, I stole this from New Nightmare, the idea that the kind of Freddy exists outside of all of that, both of those realities. He exists in both of them and none. So if he wants to move between them, he can, with some difficulty. Otherwise, you wouldn't have a movie. Obviously, if it was easy for him to do it, everyone would be dead in the first 10 seconds of the movie, so you wouldn't need to write a movie about it. So those were my kind of starting ideas. The title of my pitch is An Elm Street Nightmare. So it's not exactly... So I was trying to avoid... because this is set in a parallel reality, I was trying to avoid, like, doing a mirror universe thing of having, like, you know, Street Elm on Nightmare, right? Or like, but that was the sense I was going for, like a jumbled up version of the original title. And I liked that in just in kind of changing the order of the title, you went from a to an I like that kind of. So the idea is it's an alternate title basically.
Yes, I understand.
Which introduces the idea that we're in an alternate reality.
Okay.
So this is the Elm Street Nightmare universe as opposed to the Nightmare on Elm Street universe.
Sounds like you took the coward's way out, but then you didn't end up with Dream Tracker. So
coward's way out? What are you talking about?
Well, having to come up with Dream something or Freddy's something. So that's the road I went down and failed miserably at. So you took the coward's way out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in my cowardice, I decided to come up with a title that sounded right. Yeah. So the movie begins. Pretty much, we're going to be kind of polar opposites because I'm barely going to describe my cold open because we've already seen it in previous movies.
Okay.
So it's going to be basically
the bus.
No, definitely not. Specifically, not the bus. So there are these birds flying around. They suddenly explode. No, so basically we're gonna sort of merge two dream sequences from the first movie. The opening of Nightmare on Elm Street with Tina going into the boiler room and finding Freddy making his tools in that glorious boiler room with me in the corner with a blanket. And we're gonna
sharpen it. Go ahead, sharpen it.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of contract that into the Nancy's first nightmare of seeing Freddy.
Okay.
So as if they're one and the same dream. So to get to, because we're not doing a Tina fake out this time. So we're just gonna start with Nancy. So Nancy's gonna go through everything that Tina went through, and then it's kind of gonna segue into her nightmare. Which ends with her seeing the name Fred Krueger on the hat, on the inside of the rim of the hat. And then Heather wakes up in her home for 1428 Elm Street. She wakes up, clearly troubled by the dream.
This is the actor?
Nope,
New Nightmare
Nancy,
style?
No.
Okay.
Nancy what's the last name? Nancy, what are they called?
I forget
as well.
Because I desperately wanted to say Langenkamp. But that goes with Heather.
On the door it says the Langenkamps.
Yeah.
No, so 1428 Elm Street, she goes downstairs. Mother's there. She's got the bottle of vodka in her hand.
Mm-hmm. Thompson, Nancy Thompson.
Nancy Thompson. Your name is Nancy Thompson. Goza says mother's got the vodka, got like a full bottle of vodka in her hand, but the vodka is sorry, it's not vodka, it's gin she's holding actually in the original movie. So it's, oh god, that doesn't work. It'll be vodka. It's an alternate universe. It's fine. She's got a bottle of vodka, so we're expecting her to be filling her juice glass with the clear alcoholic liquid from morning pick me up. But as she comes downstairs, Nancy makes a joke about her being a drunk, which that's off color for both of them. They take her alcoholism too seriously, like for that, as far as we know. But it's because she's not a drunk at all, and she said, "Oh, we got another one of these gifts from one of those that." Russian restaurateur that your dad is representing in court.
No wonder it's vodka.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it has to be vodka. Because if it was gin, it would have to be like a British guy like me, and it doesn't strike fear into the hearts of people the way the Russians do. Especially in 1984. So I said, it's one of these gifts that your father was defending this Russian restaurateur, and he got this. He sent over this bottle of imported Stoli.
Stoli.
Nancy's like, what? Just like it's she doesn't say it's 1984, but she's sort of like, isn't it illegal to import Russian vodka? And it's like, well, why do you think your father was defending him? And through this, we're kind of finding out that things go a little bit differently in this universe. So, her dad is not a police officer; he's a public defender.
Okay.
And he's the next he's the next character to enter this kitchen scene. He comes downstairs and his face is covered in blood, but blood spots from where he's cut himself shaving multiple times.
Okay.
And then Nancy's mother says to him, "Look, Bic are great at pens, but they cannot make a decent razor. You need to get a decent razor blade." And he's like, I did the least profitable thing with my law degree. I became a public defender, just in case people haven't figured it out yet. I figured out the differences. It's like, I'm not wasting money on getting, high-end razor blades. And she's like, you got to go down to Kruger's. Freddie'll take care of you. Obviously, because the last thing that Nancy remembers before she woke up, which is the only dreams you know and remember, because the only dreams that happen to you while you're asleep. The last thing she saw was looking in the rim of Fred Krueger's hat.
Mischaracterization, go on.
Now who's the public defender? The last thing she saw was Fred Krueger. She's like, wait, Fred Krueger? Fred Krueger? I was like, yeah. And she's like, who's Fred Krueger? And he said, oh, he's the guy who, the artisan blade maker. There's a good title for your blade.
Artisan blade maker.
He's the artisan blade maker.
Nightmare on Elm Street, artisan blade maker.
Yeah, he works. He works out of that. She doesn't say abandoned factory, but that's the implication. He works out of the disused factory that they turn into a to an artist cooperative, and he makes the blades. It's like, oh, he's done all our kitchen knives. He's done like every blade in our kitchen was done with him. He does really fine work. His prices are reasonable, and yet your father still insists on using these cheap disposable blades. That's the opening scene. And so Nancy goes to school, and as with your pitch, because a good idea is a good idea, we both stole it. But we're also, I think in both of our pitches, we're kind of reproducing what happens in the original.
In a lot of these movies.
In a lot of these movies. So Nancy goes to school. She meets up with the gang,
Mm-hmm.
Tina can still be alive in this reality. There's no reason for her not to be. We've started with Nancy. We got those two other kids who have names. We've got them. One of whom is played by Johnny Depp.
Johnny. Yeah, let's just call him Johnny.
Glenn and Tony. Yeah, Glenn and Tony.
Not Tony. I don't think. Is it?
Rod. I think it's Rod.
That sounds more right.
Rod or Roy. Although Roy is fake Jason, so I don't think that's him. Anyway, they go to school, and she goes to school, and then they end up having the conversation where they all realize they've had the same dream. Right. So after school, with the information that she has about
Rod,
great, about Fred Krueger, she goes down to the abandoned factory. To see Freddy at work, to see why she's dreaming about this man who seems to be a killing corpse, and yet he's this guy who's alive and a functional member of society
without a burnt face.
Well, that's it. So they hide behind, I don't know, trash cans or whatever. They hide behind something, and someone else's problem. And hide behind something while they're watching Freddy, and he's like comes out. They see. I imagine this.
Sorry, I got to interrupt. Just imagine a bunch of kids like hanging outside the Krueger's drugstore, hiding. Somebody in a room is like, huh?
It's not a drugstore.
Well, whatever it is.
No, it's important.
What is it?
He makes blades. He's a blade maker.
He's a bladester.
Whatever you. Yeah, he's an artisan.
When you say
blade
Krueger's, I think of Think of a drugstore.
I know, but that's the name of his little artisan operation. It's called Kruger's.
All right. Well, I just imagine them like hiding behind trash cans, and then some producer in Hollywood saying, "No, something else." And then like,
Yeah, I know.
a hippo appears in from the no, not that. That's ridiculous. Shopping carts? No.
I'm actually imagining them kind of like looking at the factory as a whole and kind of with binoculars, kind of in like a little hillock looking out, and then we get like the long shot of like Freddy, but it's the Freddy that we saw in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Freddy's dead. Essentially, it's just Robert Englund.
Before he.
By
kills
the way,
his
I'm
wife.
taking. Huh?
Before he kills his wife.
Well, that might come into play as well. Maybe it's different in this universe.
Okay.
But by the way, I'm taking full advantage of our time machine here. I'm going to have the actors and the characters at the age I want them in order to tell the story.
John Saxon, not dead.
Toupee number 1.
Yeah.
And everyone's just going to have to deal with that, okay?
Yeah. That's obvious. That just so you know, that's been obvious.
I know that's obvious, but don't think I don't know the obvious plot hole of this, which is that all these actors couldn't play these parts at these ages.
They're all between
anymore.
60 and 80.
Yes, exactly. But he comes out to have his mid-afternoon smoke, and it's just this very eerie image where all he's doing is he looks completely normal. He just looks like regular Robert Englund.
Mm-hmm.
He's just having a cigarette outside. All they see at first is like the sound of tool making in his little boiler room.
The sound of tool making.
And sparks flying out of the door. That's all they can see. So it's a really ominous image. And then him just standing there in the doorway smoking a cigarette, even though he's not doing anything and he's not scary looking, is just incredibly scary because they're watching from a distance and they can only see they can't really see the features of his face. And then there's a slight turn of the head to suggest that he knows they're there.
Right.
And so they freak out and head home at that point.
Run away!
Yeah, exactly. So, Heather's in a little bit of a spot because she's had this dream about Fred Krueger, but to all intents and purposes, the real Fred Krueger bears no resemblance to him. But, she's thinking maybe this dream's trying to tell me something, that, this guy, is going to go out and murder people, and that, he's living a secret life. And it just so happens that her father's private detective on retainer comes by to drop off some paperwork for some investigative work he's been doing. She uses with the help of Glenn, she uses Rod's sound effect tape to make a phone call to this guy to make it sound like her dad is booking him to follow Freddy Krueger for an investigation. So she takes like an answering machine message of her dad, and then uses the sound effects tape to make it sound to kind of create a fake conversation, and play it over the phone to make it sound like, oh, I want you to follow this guy Fred Krueger. What in fact the message he's saying is, yeah, I'm tired of getting this bloody face every morning, so I think I'm gonna follow your advice and go and see Fred Krueger. And she's kind of like edited it to sound like, go and follow Fred Krueger. That kind
Who
of
could
thing.
possibly suspect that?
And then there's the sound of like screaming and people fighting, and then Glenn scrambles to turn off the tape. Yeah, to turn off the tape. So anyway, so this private detective goes out to follow him, and so we get a kind of noirish scene of a private detective following Freddy around, and he's kind of, Freddy himself is kind of stalking the home of his ex-wife and his estranged child.
Mm-hmm.
And, the private detective makes note of all this. He goes to take the report back to Heather's dad. She's right there to intercept it and says, oh, no, I'll go pass it. I'll pass it along to him. Don't you worry yourself. She's like waiting in the door, pouncing. She starts to read this stuff and find out, oh, he's following this woman. She has a young girl. She dreamed about Freddy killing children. She's putting it all together. She doesn't read till the end of the document to find out that, it's confirmation bias. Once she reads that, she stops reading completely and doesn't read the bit that says it's his daughter. He's been denied custody, so he's just going out there, watching her through the window with a single tear in his eye about not being able to see his daughter. So this is the point where she goes to the police station, and goes.
Sorry, you said that kind of like Kramer kicking the guy off the bus. So she goes to
people kept making
the police
the
station,
stops. Well, people kept making the stops. No, what was his
ringing
line?
the bell.
People, you kept making all the stops. People kept ringing the bell. It's one of the best use. One of the, not to mention the money they saved in not trying to do that for real, but have Kramer tell the story.
So funny.
It's just one of the best things ever happened in a sitcom. Anyway, so she goes to the police station, to say, hey, she's like this man Fred Krueger, and look at this, he's been stalking this little girl. So the police, believing this, upstanding citizen, your dad's a public defender. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna go and like arrest Fred Krueger, and so she's there at the station when he gets brought in, and she sees him up close for the first time, and he stares at this deep dark look, which could mean I really am the secret killer you think I am, or it could just mean I'm going to prison because you lied about something and got me arrested. So they take him, and obviously he's done nothing wrong. They have to release him. They find out it's his kid, and he's like, I know there's a restraining order, but I stayed the distance. I miss my daughter.
Just trying to get a look.
Yeah, just
watch her grow up
from afar. Watch her grow up, exactly.
Yeah.
And so they're letting go, and then obviously that's when Heather's parents find out about what she's been doing. And so she's like, they're saying, you can't do anything else. You leave Fred Krueger alone. Ironically, in this universe, they're like, you leave Fred Krueger alone. Or,
leave that poor man alone.
Yeah, and even in a twist of fate, her dad is the public defender. He offers his services free of charge because of what his daughter's done to kind of unwrangle all the legal difficulties that Fred's under. So they're very much in the pro Freddy camp, like me. In this
that
variation.
Was the genesis. How can I get the rest of the world on my side of being pro Freddy?
So basically, at this point, with this mistaken arrest, and he's threatening to sue the police, he's protected by the best public defender in town. Freddy's kind of untouchable at this point. And Nancy, there's nothing she can do either. She just has to keep dreaming these horrible nightmares about him. And this is the point that we realize that Freddy is trying to use this reality's Nancy's nightmares to get into this dimension and start killing kids in this own dimension. He's already killed all the kids in his own dimension on Elm Street. So now he's doing interdimensional sleepy time killing. So, at this point where, Fred Krueger's
time to get there.
Basically, it's like half the movie, and it's like if you imagine like an alternate version of the first half of Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what we've got. Yeah. And then the second half is just at the point in which everyone feels sorry for Fred Krueger, and is like thinks he's the victim of bad luck and suffering, and he's just a hard luck case. That's the point at which Freddy manages to escape into this reality and then possess the body of this reality's Fred Krueger, effectively turning him into the sleepy time killer that Nancy thinks he is.
Gotcha.
So now Freddy is out there, and then Nancy's friends start to kind of get murdered.
Wait, I gotta hang up. I'm a little confused.
No questions at this time.
I'm a little confused.
Okay.
Was Freddy inhabiting him all along, or
no?
That just happened. Okay.
This Freddy in this reality is a totally innocent person.
Okay.
He turned out fine despite his bad childhood.
And then
And his marriage, his marriage ended, but he didn't try and murder,
Right.
he didn't murder the wife, and he's not trying to rape and murder the child.
but
or
then
anything
Freddy,
like that. But then Freddy gets in, and that's the first thing he does.
gotcha.
But of course, because of what's just happened, even though it's kind of within an within an like an OJ margin of error that he killed her, and all the evidence suggests that. It's like, well, no, we've already established he's been wrongly accused. It can't be him. It's got to be, there's got to be a serial killer in town or something. And there is, but it's Freddy Krueger. It's inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
It's inside of this Freddy Krueger. So, those murders happen. Then as happens in the first half of Nightmare on Elm Street, the other kids start to get murdered as well, and Nancy's like,
This
look,
reminds me of the movie that I tried to remember before but couldn't, but do remember now, with Denzel Washington, called Fallen.
Fallen. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen that, so I can't be stealing from it. I just want to get that on record. So anyway, these murders start to happen in a different order, obviously, and at a different timing. But Nancy's like, look, this is what I saw in my dreams. This is happening. It's like, take another look at this guy. So, the end of the movie is a scramble to get the town to believe that this dimension's Fred Krueger might be capable of what she sees her Fred Krueger from the other dimension do in his dreams, at a point at which they're one in the same. And it not only becomes a fight. It's basically the finale is a mashup of the end of 1 and 2. They're trying to draw Freddy out of another body so that the good Fred
Can stay.
the Fred who is in the White Lodge,
Yeah.
can be redeemed, and bad Freddy Krueger can be removed from reality, and that we can do the thing where we turn his back on him and say, you're not real and I'm not scared of you, and that he goes back. And that is an Elm Street nightmare.
All right. Interesting.
You don't want to pin yourself down, do you?
Well, here's the thing. It's like, I think you have an interesting idea, but one that would be difficult for people to accept. Like, it would cause like a cognitive dissonance with them.
Well, I think
They'd be
you'd assume that it's the same for
is this just a remake of the first one? Because you take a long time to get to the middle where where what's actually happening.
That's what I want them to think.
Yeah, so
people will think what I want them to think.
I think that's my problem. I guess I think I like the idea, but I think people would misunderstand it and like get pissed off and like think you're remaking the first one, but why would you do that? Because it's just fine and perfect and dandy how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'd have to really win them over in that last. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, mine doesn't have apps in it, so
Second problem.
People won't be in the, so the tweens won't be in the bag for it the way they were with your pitch.
I'm thinking ahead, baby.
But mine is set in 1984, so my hands are tied.
There's nothing I can do.
But I mean, I'm following philosophy of my my filmmaking mentor J.J. Abrams. That if you're gonna reboot, set it in a an alternate timeline, so the fans of the original who don't like what you're doing because you're J.J. Abrams and you're not as good, by which I mean not good at all. They can still go, well, it doesn't interfere with the Star Trek. I get to keep my Star Trek, even though someone, they're not ruining my Star Trek. They're ruining their own Star Trek. So, at the very least, I'm ruining my own Nightmare on Elm Street, not theirs.
Oh yeah, I love the idea of you're drawing in inspiration from J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, that's why you love this pitch so much.
Yeah, that's great. No, by the time you get to what the movie's actually about, then I started to hook in, because that's an interesting idea of.
Well, all the stuff about razors and Russian restaurateurs doesn't grip you as much as cheap bird seed and
Yeah,
exploding animals.
that's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. That's it.
Yeah,
We fulfilled our mandate. We did it.
yeah.
We've got 2 viable pitches.
Well,
Only one has sleep apps.
the other one has sleep apnea. Heyo.
Yeah, that's good times.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about that.
No, neither do I. That's it. All done.
All that's left is for you to tell us what you think, ladies and gentlemen, of each of these pitches, or, God forbid, we get a pitch from you all. That'd be fun. I want pitches.
Yeah.
Give us a pitch.
I don't know what. I don't know when we're gonna read them, but the ideal time to read them would be now.
Or on the poster episode, which will not be possible.
Yeah, that will not be possible because of the laws of physics. But what would be possible is if you want to send us a pitch and if you want to hear it on the pitch episode, and maybe we should remind people of this when we start our new series. Like when the series begins, it's like, don't forget to get your pitches in.
Yes.
You know, we record these episodes quickly, so the sooner you get it in, the more chance you have of getting it on.
Yes. I want everybody to think about that retroactively. Back to when we started with our pitches, not our pitches, our ranking of these nightmare movies. Just go back.
I don't know how you do it, but some podcasters do like retroactively put the same introduction on every episode of their feed.
Mm-hmm.
That's magic to do that. Because you're listening to an episode from like 10, 15 years ago, and it's talking, about what's happening in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Time travel, man.
Use it.
Yeah, I did.
Ooh, I'll tell you off air. I got a good story along those lines.
You went back in time again?
Kind of.
Fuck some shit up?
Yeah.
Is that why I have a forked tongue now? I watched that Treehouse of Horror. That was an exceptional storytelling. Homer time traveling and changing history.
So good.
And then getting back to the fort, finding out everyone has a lizard tongue, and he's like, close enough.
Close enough. All right. Reach out on all the reach out things. You know what they are. The books and the grams and the
skies.
What'd you say?
Skies.
Threads.
Sky's the limit.
See? Oh, threads. Threads is it's the one that always trips me up. The threads.
Threads is your kryptonite, I know. Yeah. Well, you won't have to worry about it for much longer.
There you go. Or X marks the spot.
Mm-hmm.
Do that too.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it without a big, long fucking diatribe of nonsense. Or send an email to everythingsequel@gmail.com.
I was holding that space for you, as hippies say. Do you know when people say that? I was like, I'm holding that space for you.
No.
Does anyone ever said that to you?
No.
I'm holding that space for you. People say it to me, and I pretend I know what it means, but I don't know what it means.
Like
I think it's like
a physical space?
It's kind of some version of...
Like a parking space? I'm holding that space for you.
No, it's not that literal. It's metaphysical. It's like... I think it's that. It's like a way of saying it's like a new age way of saying, I'll be, if you're going through a hard time, I'll be thinking about
I'm holding space for you.
I'm holding space for you. But I'm like, what, like figuratively, literally?
I'll hold that anchor for you until you calm down.
Yeah, let it go. That sounds strenuous. Yeah. Let that fucking space go. Don't do it for my benefit.
I want to be angry.
Oh, that is us. That's. I want to be either. That's my two default positions. I'm either angry or in Freddy's boiler room with the blanket and the armchair,
as
rocking
happy
back
as
and
can
forth.
be.
Watching him put another child on the fire.
Oh, look at
Then
the,
we- and
look
then
at
we
the
smoke a-
soul go.
And then we smoke a pipe. Maybe have a little hot cocoa.
I should have you be that CEO.
What, just me? As someone playing me, or me playing that character?
You playing that character, because it just matches so well with
Yeah.
with your love of Freddy.
I'm in the bag for Freddy.
Yeah.
Gay for Freddy.
You'd have to wash the sheets too often.
There's a t-shirt. Gay for Freddy. I think I can do better. When I'm stepping back for a second, I'm like, I think I can do better than that.
Or send an email. No, wait, I already did that.
No, you already. I know it sounds like get Tom out of this whirlpool of nonsense, but you already did that.
I did.
We found another spot, another kind of niche of the podcast to lay down a
to
whirlpool
go down
of nonsense.
nonsense. To go down nonsense road as we talk about Elm Street.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Nightmare on Nonsense Street. Would you prefer that title?
I think I might.
I think I might as well.
All right, when you hear us next, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to have to be on YouTube. We'll be ranking our posters for you. And we'll tell you what series we're doing next. Series? Is that the right phrase? Maybe not. You'll find out.
Possibly not. It's certainly different. No one can say it's not different.
All right. For Tom Stewart of Lonesome Whistle Productions, Michael Shantz here of the How Dare You Awards. We will be back. Say goodbye to everybody, Tom.
Man, screw that clown. I mean, what kind of a pussy comes after you in your dreams anyway? Now that big-ass motherfucker back in the cornfield. All right, that's who we should be afraid of. Tell me who the fuck that was. I love the fact that it's such a bad... that no, even though, ostensibly, this seems to be the movie choosing Jason over Freddy, they've still made this line at the expense of Jason.
Of course.
In that nobody knows what he's actually called. He's still
that big fucker in the cornfield.
Yeah. Hey, you know that guy that nobody's heard of? He's a much better alternative to this other guy that we're trying to rebrand.
That's amazing. All right. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back.
You only dream in the last few seconds before you wake up.
No, it's not true.
No, it is true.
No.
Why won't you accept that?